They say when you're about to die, your entire life flashes before your eyes. That's not entirely true. At least, not for me. It felt cold. Maybe that was the loss of blood or the paper-thin hospital gowns that make you wear with the little flowers and flimsy straps. When we imagine death, it's often a special moment like we see in the movies. In my experience, it was much less dramatic. Actually, oddly normal. I was scared. I won't lie to you and pretend I wasn't. But when you're that close, you end up in this kind of in-between place that's hard to describe. You're here, but you're not. It feels a little trippy, honestly. You ask yourself, am I dying? And you don't get an answer back. But inherently, you know the question is rhetorical. You feel it. Then everything gets quiet. You overcome with a genuine sense of peace. The first time I almost died was in my teens. The second time was 8 months ago. I can't remember the exact details from the first experience because of circumstance, but the second time was so recent I remember it vividly. There was a moment when I realized, this is happening. This might actually be it. And it's odd, but I felt so blessed in that moment. I remember thinking, we had a good 30 years. We did the thing. There were a lot of places I wanted to go and never got to, but the normal pull to those dreams wasn't there. Instead, it was replaced by an intense clarity. I thought of my parents and my brother. My unrealized dreams didn't seem so important. Nothing actually seemed important, except this sense of love I felt for my family and a feeling of gratitude for some favorite memories. It was interesting how quickly I was able to let go of all the desires I normally give attention to. Career, accomplishment, legacy, just disappeared. When it's all on the line, none of it mattered, and I was at peace. As we get caught in the wants and needs of our life, it's easy to lose track of what's important. We're always rushing to the next thing because we know once we get there, then we'll be happy. But this life is so fragile. We're only a few choices or strokes of bad fortune away from losing it all at any moment. The one constant thing about life is death. In fact, that's the only guarantee you'll ever get. So what's the rush? None of these things I spent so much time chasing or worrying about mattered. A lesson in letting go. It was the normalcy of it that drove it home for me. In those precious moments, it didn't matter how famous I was or what I had accomplished. How quickly those things can be stripped away was eye-opening. Because in those days of intensive care, I was one of many, a body to be sponged, washed, and checked on. Number 327. We want to be special. We chase fame and legacy as a chance to be remembered. We don't like to accept the fact that our existence will most likely be forgotten within 2 to 3 generations. Humans have been here for hundreds of thousands of years and potentially millions more. But at this exact moment in time, arguably the best time to have ever been a human, we're here. 1 of 100 million, baby. We already won the lottery. How much of this life do we waste on people and things that ultimately are a distraction? We play it out on a long enough timeline and most of it fades to zero. We spend so much energy living in the future, going back in the past. We rob ourselves of the truly special moments we inhabit every day. When you're lying in that hospital bed, what will you look back on and feel good about? Because the EKG machine doesn't care. The pristine whitewashed walls don't care. The blinking fluorescent white light above your bed doesn't care. You're both dying, fading away, 1 minute at a time.